Oh yeah. Oh, here we go. All right. In Unity, I'm just going to go ahead and start this now because it takes a minute. Just a new 3D. Call it struggle bus, silly bus. We're going to do a cluster trucks clone. So let me get that spooled up. Anyone play cluster trucks? Yeah. The what? I don't know. All right, you know what? Fine, I'll play it. Just to prove to you.
Oh yeah, just to show us.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not easy.
I think you should try to get the new I've not seen that. I don't even know.
I can barely get through like a few levels.
Someone has to try that. Someone beat all of the Souls games in a row without dying or getting hit. So.
Cool. Well, apparently, starting a new Unity project, running OBS, Chrome's open, Unity Hub, Steam. Yeah, Chrome's open. That's probably the problem. Ah, there we go. Yes, the one developed by Apple. So this is the game. We're doing this because, in theory, it's simple. Yeah. So, oh. Yeah. It's not it. There we go. So, yes, I am. Sorry to Tiny Build and Phil. This is their game. So, the first thing to note, the game just keeps going until I hit a button again. So that's something you're going to want to emulate. Let me just see if this is one of the levels. This is the first level, so maybe I can just ride this truck through it. Yeah. So there's the goal right there. Very clearly. You know what, just to be cool, I'm going to jump right now. Oh, we got airtime. All right. All right, so we complete. Yeah, my rank's not that good, but we're keeping track of high scores. I've got my points for this round. It's kind of simple. They're ridiculous. That's insane. Yeah, we've got it in there too. All right, so here we got new stuff going on. These little ghost guys are making my trucks go up in the air. Little boosts. Super fun. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Oh! Just praying we don't get hit by the ghost thing. All right. It seems like it. Dang it. Okay. Oh. Yeah, I'm holding shift. Yo, boost. Let me jump off of that. All right, so anyway, that's what we're going for. No. All right, here we go. And we're still, Unity was like, hold up, I got you. All right, we'll jump to Chrome. That's why this is open. So this will be a 2-week project because it's considered a midterm. We're going to put more polish on this than we ever have. The gameplay is going to be stupid simple, right? We jump around on trucks. The trucks are going forward. We'll walk through the mechanics of that. So I've got I think this just tells us about the game. Some ideas. It doesn't have to be trucks, right? Logs on a river, packets on an internet stream. Matthew, you did spaceships, right? Yeah, you can just be jumping around on top of spaceships. Whatever you want to do for the theme there. There'll be a few things that we need to pay attention to. I don't even remember if this video is worth anything anymore. So the main thing to note that we have figured out in the past on this project is not to use character controller first-person controllers. We're here for the physics. We need our rigid body. We need all of this stuff for boosting and jumping and all that. And the character controller guys are literally just walk forward, step back. They don't do anything cool with the physics engine. I'm just going to unlock all of this. Yeah, you'll probably get a 0 right away. Nice. All right, we'll just come back. The main thing I want to cover is this. So this week I want to get gameplay working. Why are you doing this? Okay, we want at least 2 levels of gameplay. So kind of that first level that I was on where I could almost just nerf it. I could just like surf the one truck to the end. We want to keep it simple. So maybe not where you don't have to jump off the truck, but keep the first one easy and then go off the rails nuts for the second level. If you want to even change up the theme between levels, that's fine. But we want to get the gameplay working. We're going to use a first-person controller. We're going to have things that we stand on that we're allowed to stand on. When we jump on those things, we will become the child of those things. So that as they're moving, we're inheriting its velocity. Lots of ways to do that. Just making it a child is probably the easier way. We could like actually go in and rip the velocity from that object and apply it to ourselves. Do some crazy stuff. Can't touch anything else but the trucks or the logs or the spaceships or whatever you're supposed to jump on. Everything else is going to reset. Let's scroll down here. And then we're going to need menus. So the idea is this will be the most polished thing we do so far. So this week we'll work on a couple levels of gameplay, and then we'll get into the next week of actually getting menu screens, start screens. We want music on the start screen. Start screen can go to level 1. Maybe we can select the levels, both levels from the start screen. Level 1 exists. We can jump around, stick to objects, platforms move. We're going to get into particles. We want particles coming off of our trucks, especially because I just don't feel like animating tires. So we just do a bunch of dust coming off the tires and cover up the fact that they're not moving. So we'll do particles. We're going to play a little bit with nav mesh agents and some not. So your core nav mesh agent, as we saw Trump and Biden and Barack playing with, it won't leave the nav mesh. But in cluster trucks, we had trucks flipping upside down, and that was like the fun of it, the craziness. If all of your trucks are just nav mesh agents base, I think I found a way to actually fix that and mess those up. Then they'll never tilt, they'll never move, they'll never leave the ground, and it's literally just like stepping along the truck. There's no gameplay. It's not dangerous, huh? We do want to use some nav mesh agent in there though. So maybe our trucks are going to blast forward on their own, and then like we just have little nav mesh agent cars or little old ladies or whatever, like that just wander around and the trucks hit. Yeah, whatever, something else. So we'll do nav mesh agents. We'll have things that move. So at least one nav mesh agent of chaos. Music, sound effects. We're going to use a canvas to show the win and lose like we saw on that. Right? We're not just going to reset. That's what we've been doing so far is I hit the ground, I hit your barrel, we reset the level immediately. We want an interstitial screen in there. So it's going to be like, okay, It doesn't have to say you suck, whatever. This could be like, hey, you lost, hit a button again to replay, and then we'll restart. And then we're going to do some scoring based on airtime and whatever else you come up with. Airtime works for now. So right now we've got our first person players. We know that they're in the air because they're not allowed to double jump. So as long as they're in the air and we've got that piece of data, we'll just start adding up a counter and giving them score. We can get in and do more crazy things like, was only on a truck for like a half a second, so it did really quick, really fast jumps, whatever. So we'll do scoring based on airtime and just whatever ridiculousness. What they have in their style points. Yeah, so we'll get the reset. A very obvious goal. I've seen a few of these get turned in. I couldn't tell where the goal was. I had no idea. It was kind of frustrating. Like, do I just keep riding this truck for forever? So something obvious that says, hey, there's the goal. I only have to hold on for another couple more seconds. An end level stat screen, which we had. And then from there, we can go to level 2. So at least 2 levels of gameplay. Level 2's got all the same criteria. And then down here, I've added some criteria. We'll need to pause it. So we'll get into pause menus. And then we're going to get into probably next week, we're going to be saving scores. So not just like I did better than I did the last time I played it this round. We will save the score so you can come back in a week and try and beat your high scores. We'll save score probably to player prefs. It's the dumbest, easiest way to do things because I don't want to spin up a web server for hosting high scores. So in Unity, there's a little folder inside our Unity packages, even when we like ship them to Steam and everywhere else, that we can write to. And just a little text file. And so I can say high score equals 2000, and then I can keep adding to that or whatever. So we'll do it that way. That's definitely, if you go try to get a job and they're asking you about persisting data and you're like, oh yeah, the only thing I've ever done is like write stuff for the player prefs, be like, oh, that's cute. It's not the real way to do it because player prefs can be hacked by your players. So I can go in and like just find the text file and say, you know what, my high score is 50 billion. So you want to persist data elsewhere, but this is the fast way to do it. So we're going to learn it. That's the project. Again, for this week, and I've debated, and I'll let you tell me because I don't want this to be a 2-week project that you all do about 2 weeks from now. Show of hands, you're going to do that, right? No. So I'm debating having at the end of this week just have you turn in the 2 levels of gameplay. Like, look, I can stick to the trucks, they fly forward. Here's the second level. Just so we've got the gameplay stuff down, and then next week we'll get into the menus and the scores and all that jazz. But I want to put at least some line in the sand so that certain people, I'm not looking directly at Alex, I'm looking at the ceiling right now, so that certain people, you were looking at me, so you became an easy target. Just don't do anything until the end of 2 weeks, right? All right. So we'll probably have a quick check-in. I'll add some assignment there, just to say, yeah, we're doing stuff. All right. Let's get into stuff. So I'm just going to start. First thing I need to do is save this not as sample scene. Who else is this bitten already this semester? Yeah, don't, because you're going to download asset packs and they're going to have sample scenes. You're going to overwrite your stuff. So we're just going to call this cluster truck level 0, or silly buses, or struggle bus, or whatever. In the past, I've just used a bus asset, and so that's kind of, yeah, I'll just go grab that. I'll start with then a 3D objects, right? Yeah, terrain. Drop a terrain in. I like the idea of terrain because we can add some mountains and hills and stuff to it that nav meshes will try to go up and down. But if you want to just keep it a flat level and you're going to manually put in trunks and trees and whatever else, then you can do that. I'm going to drop a terrain in and just do some quick, and by quick I mean disgusting, horrible, don't ever do this at home. That's too much. Pull the opacity down. We're just gonna put some mountains up. Rein us in. I'm gonna be doing less. I guess hand holding. I'm gonna be doing less giving you everything you need and more just like here's the requirements, go. And I want you to try to do as much as you can on your own. And make this your own. Basically making a track here. Let's see what happens. Worst level ever. Yes. Check. All right. I'm going to go grab a bunch of stuff. This might be about the last of our first person. For those of you more into character and third person, we're going to get into third person stuff after this project. But because we're borrowing heavily from the other thing, I'm going to bring in my mini first person controller, who's our physics based controller. And we can go grab trucks, buses. What have I got? Essentials. I get the package manager, but I wish that I could view these screenshots from package manager and know what I'm getting into. Oh, this is just sound effects. You know what? We'll take it. We will need sound effects. Almost every year that I've done this assignment, I've wanted to do my own where I'm jumping around on like shuttlecraft from Star Trek, but I never seem to have time to model one. I actually opened Blender the other day and was going to do that, and then I remembered I had homework to do. Super depressing. Really? This is, yeah, I don't feel like this is effective. I'm going to go over here. Like, I don't know what I'm downloading. I don't know what I'm importing. Oh, I don't want a $10 bus. Free. What's free? Bus parking kit? What? Oh, on the simple poly? I'm fine with low poly, but I'm curious about this really quick. What's a parking kit? Oh, okay, we got what? Ooh, tour buses. Yeah, this is coming soon to Dreamcast. This is the original Crazy Taxi. It's fair. Yeah, I'm sorry. My mistake. But it's free. Someone take it anyway. Haha. That one bus looks good. Luckily, we've already made a bunch of traffic cones and barriers and stuff like that that could be useful if we're going to go with a car theme. Again, this can be whatever. I've literally had someone jumping on logs, flying down a rapid river. I've seen lots of crazy stuff. I think I've seen one. Yeah, someone did like just pirate ships on water, and you're jumping around as pirate ships with, I don't know, like super fast motors or something. So theme wise, yeah, yeah, just go nuts. What? Yeah, what if I say no? I don't want all that. Just give me this stupid FBX. Audio manager. Cluster input manager. Wait a minute. Are these guys trying to rip off cluster trucks too? You know what? I don't want all this extra jazz. All right, we're going back shopping. I should have just listened to you guys the first time. Simple Poly City has buses and trucks. Oh, that truck kind of works. Oh, and the bus. Yeah, these right here. Let's just do that. Let's keep it simple. Wait a minute. Venn Creations? Jonah, is this you? Huh? You have assets on the Unity Asset Store? Do you? Simple Poly City? Okay. So what do you got? What should I be putting in my games? Ah, yeah. Yes. I could use some. Let me go find them. Wait, do they cost money? Okay. If they do, I'm going to need you to loan me some money. All right, we'll bring in those. So we'll bring in low poly buses and then Jonah's really, really nice crates and barrels. What's a good just crates and barrels? Put your name in there. Oh, can't find you. Whoa. Okay. Asset store went off the rails crazy. See if I can recognize them from our class. I mean, yeah, I've got them somewhere. Wood product. Well, figure out what I need to look up, and I'll do that. Garbage trucks are great. You know, we just throw trash everywhere. All right, we'll come back. Okay, we got terrible things now in our assets. I'm going to go ahead and drag in the first-person controller. There are two. Remember what the difference is between the minimal and the regular? We'll use regular. And we can make our whole terrain. Huh? Got deleted? You got kicked off the asset store? Oh, that stinks. Ah, yeah. They're picky about things. Bro. Okay, like I never told you to use JPEGs. Always been on the PNG train. All right, so I'm gonna add a script to the train. Kills is us. Need any of these? And I'll use. Oh, just go away. There we go. So I'm going to use on collision enter instead of on trigger because terrains have colliders on them. So the terrain can be looking for us. Um, and we can just put this on everything else. I mean, if you've got a ground or traffic or your river or whatever, then same thing we've always been doing. This one I'm going to use collision because I don't want a copy of my terrain. Well, I guess I could make the terrain. Nah, I'll leave it alone. No, I want the terrain to have a collider so that my buses don't fall through. Yeah. So I'm just going to do on collision enter. And then as long as one of the objects has a rigid body, then this will get called. I don't think they would either. I'd have to hack it and make a whole. No, we're not doing that. All right. So we'll do that. And for now, I'm just going to debug. It must be nice to be a perfect speller and be able to just call out other people when these things happen. All right. And then what we could do is scene. We don't want to do this for our actual thing, but just to test that it works, we could do that. All right, so we've got this on our terrain or whatever our ground's going to be, and then let me just start messing with the bus. So I found out we can accidentally have nav mesh agents that can flip around and stuff. And so the key is, and I accidentally found this last week when was it last week? We were trying to get the police cruiser to go from point A to B to C. Nav mesh was on the root game object, and the physical like mesh as a child of that had the rigid body, and so that nav mesh agent was able to get completely messed up. Like the root agent was still moving around and sticking to the ground, but the child was going all flopsy. So we could theoretically have all our buses be nav mesh agents as long as their physics are children and not on the root. But we'll do a couple different ones. So let me just grab some buses. Simple poly models prefabs. Vehicles with snow. We'll do static wheels. Simple, dumb. We like it. All right, we'll just do a blue bus. And he's got nothing. So I'm going to give him a box collider. I wonder which way he's facing. Perfect. Okay, so here's the thing. And the same thing with our bullets that we were doing previously. Whatever we're wanting to move forward and be buses or whatever trucks, we want them to be heading up the z-axis, so positive blue. And this one's already set up for us. I've had some other buses that I've tried in the past that did not do that for me. And we'll give them a rigid body. And we'll leave all that alone for now. So he's got that going for him. And then I will give him one more script. Let me go see what I called this script. Let me just go rip myself off. We'll at least get trucks moving and hopefully sticking to them. So here, yeah, placement of your object's root pivot is a big deal. We want to be going forward. And this is just going to be moved forward with a lot of extra stuff going on. So I'm going to copy all this and then we'll see what it is. So on the bus, this is not a nav mesh agent. This is just a blast forward kind of guy. So move forward. All right. So I don't know if we've talked about these. So check this out. So I've got this in here. This says header speed settings. This is a cool way to expose stuff in the inspector. So if I come back here, this is saved. It's on the bus. And then I've got this thing. So I've got move forward, and there's my script, and I've got a header over the top of these variables that says speed settings. You can put tooltips on them, do all kinds of fun stuff. And I've got other things here. We'll go back, but that's, and so there's another header, local vector settings, fun things we can do. So I've got this, our base speed, and a speed variation. Because if all the buses are moving the same speed, then it's kind of boring. So we're going to be giving it a little flair. So we go starting speed, bus speed, speed variation. These serialized fields, again, are like public, except no one else can change them for us. And this private float, we're not even exposing to the inspector. This is just something we know about inside the script. I've created an enum called the selected vector because just in case whatever object I've got is not heading down the Z, positive blue, then I've set all this up so that we can say which way is forward for this object. Then I got another header, local vector settings, so we can set each value specific to each prefab. Then we can use the same script on multiple different buses, no matter which way their route is facing. And so this enum, which again is like a multi-part Boolean, one of these things is true, only one. So only one selected vector is going to be forward. So I just gave it all the possibilities. And then I'm serializing that local forward is what I'm calling it as my selected vector. So I've created this 6-part, it can be one of these checkboxes. I'm exposing it to the inspector and saying my local forward is whatever you choose out of this list. Same thing with down. I need to know which way is down for this object. So negative y on a regular object. Positive z, negative y, and then I've got an int here for look down this far. And we'll show you what that means in a minute. This is, again, all on the Canvas script. So I've got a private vector, the direction we're supposed to be going, and a vector, the direction is down, which we're going to be using these to set. So on start, we're going to get our base bus speed for this bus. This script can be on a bunch of different buses. For this bus, this instance, I'm going to get a random range of my base bus speed minus the speed variation up to base bus speed plus speed variation. So that is 10 minus 1 and 10 plus 1. So that's a really weird way of saying pick something between 9 and 11. Okay, so if it's a base bus speed should be a float. Yeah. So any floating number between 9 and 11 now, because that's what I've got set, is what this bus will be moving at. Make sense? So they're not all going the same speed. This will actually vary every time you run the game. So this adds a lot of weird variance. I can be really good at this level and then reset the level, and the buses are all going different speeds now, and I can't count on anything. And then so I've created a variable somewhere between 9 and 11 or whatever my numbers are, and I set that equal to starting speed. And I'm just saving that. So that's the speed of this bus. And then the direction to go will be whatever we told our local forward was, and the direction that's down we told, again, using those vectors. On update, super simple. We're transforming, or we're translating along our transform, this direction times time dot delta time, because we're in update, and then times the bus speed. So whatever our weird bus speed is, we're saying go forward. The direction to go, which is a vector. Fixed update. So because I want this thing to be able to hit bumps or hit other buses and flip upside down, I don't want my upside down bus to keep cruising forward. In fixed update, I'm using a raycast to look down. So from my position to whatever direction I said is down, look down this far, and I think I've got it set to like 5 meters. Yeah. And so if there's something below us, right, keep going. So we're going to keep our bus speed the same as our starting speed. Keep going forward. If we don't find anything on that physics raycast when we look down, then we're just going to set our speed to 0. So it's kind of realistic ish, except it'll stop on a dime. So when it's not going to skid even, we're saying your bus speed. Well, a rigid body will probably keep us sliding forward a little bit, but we're not moving forward by any speed. So I don't know if by giving it 0 speed to translate forward, I don't know if we're going to be overriding the rigid body or not. It's a good question. Yeah. Okay. Lots of ways to do everything. And then these are for our vectors. So we're calling set local vector to whatever we got set here. And so that's here. So direction to go on start. We're saying they said this way is forward. So set your full vector to that. So vector selected, we said positive y or positive z is forward. Then we want them to go 0, 0, 1. So this is just a big old switch case for whichever way they set, do everything else. So we're just returning a vector there. It looks complex. It's really not that complex of a script, even though we're at 100 lines. All right. Let me not tag my player really quick so that I can still see the level. Okay. If I tag this as player, then we're going to reset every time we touch the ground. I don't want to do that yet. I want to observe my bus. Or even is my bus in relation to my player. Oh, fun. All right. Let me just throw myself under the bus. All right. I'll start up here a little bit so I don't flip through, and let's see if this bus hits me. Hit me. I want you to. Hello? Yeah, that's a good question. Okay, let's see what it defaults to. So here we go. Oh, they just default to positive X on everything. So yeah, we need to say your local forward, sir, is positive Y. I mean Z. Where's it at? There we go. So that's your forward, and your down is going to be negative Y. Ah! I can't even get out of the way fast enough. There it goes. All right. And he's just off and running. Now the fun part. the obstacles. So let's see what this guy does. Get out of the way. There we go. Ah! And he's just told to go forward. He doesn't know anything else, and he's going to hit that. He keeps trying to go forward. Hey, you're supposed to stop, sir. Excuse me, sir. Our stopping is not working. I don't know why. Goofy. Yes. 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 It'll hit itself. Yeah. All right, let me see what this guy's doing. So here's F. Yeah. So here's the problem. So it's shooting from its pivot point, which is here. It's shooting down to see if there's anything underneath it. And guess what? From that point, when we shoot down, we're hitting this poly. So we're like, yeah, there's stuff there. Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, we'll just leave it for now. We'll fix that next time. My brain's not ready for fixing problems. I'm just creating problems. All right. The other thing we need to do is create a fleet of these. So for now, just to keep things fast and dumb, get my own prefabs folder. And I'll make this a prefab and then get a bunch of them. And these are actually probably a little more chaotic than if we use nav mesh agents because they're just going forward. They'll smack into each other. They'll smack into you. They don't care. This is a New York City bus driver. He's just going. Demonstrate our next problem. Okay. For one, it just took off without me. Start a lot closer to the bus. And even then, I slid right off. So, next script, and then we'll just call it for today. After one more script. So this one is follow parent movement. I've written the script once before, so I don't feel bad for stealing from myself. All right, new script. Follow parent movement. Also, I think I confirmed with my 110 class that those can be different now. It didn't used to be. I can have the name inside my script and the name of my script can be different and it'll still work. Yeah. I don't know. I'm kind of mad about it, but yeah, it's a little weird. A little weird. All right. So follow parent movement. Um, need a trigger underneath me as my feet. I don't know if I've got that on this player. And if the other thing that I land on is tagged bus, then I'm going to just accept that as my parent. And then when I leave that, I'll unparent myself, but we're not doing that just yet. Okay, so I've got this script. We'll jump out. Let me see if I've even got a feet collider on this. I'm not sure how he's staying grounded. See what his ground check is doing. He's doing a ray cast. I should be able to tie into this. Let me try it with my extra trigger collider, and then I think I'm going to try in here and use ground check instead. But from my collider, my controller, I'm just going to add another box collider for now. Say it's a trigger. Just a little bit. Yeah. All right. So I just set that down. So I've got this little collider at my feet, and I'm going to use that for now, just to make sure this script works. And I'll see if I can use the is grounded from the actual player. You know what didn't happen? I didn't tag these as bus. All right, so I'm going to tag these, add a tag. List is empty. I think we're looking for bus. Apply that to all of my buses, and we'll see if this works. All right, I'm staying on the bus. It's my parent now. If I jump over here, I've got a new parent. The problem being, my parent went upside down, and I went upside down, and it's still cruising, so I'm cruising. So we need to find a good way to become emancipated from our parent when things go wrong. Set myself to no parent? Just give it no. We'll try that. Because I did not like getting drugged by a bus that was like a mile in front of me. Why are you thinking so hard? It was one line of code. There we go. Oh, fun. Now, as soon as I jump off the bus, while I'm on top of it, I'll come back. Then I lose that velocity that the bus had.
You have to add that velocity back.
Yeah.
This was the trying to.
And they're apparently going at my same speed. I'm not catching the buses.
It's been like 6 hours since.
Fine. Goodbye, bus. I'll catch the train next time. All right, it's 10:27. We've got just enough of a start to break a whole scene. We're going to call it.